wanted the best? You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hello, this is Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. As always, the Chris Voss Show for 16 years, 2,800 episodes. It's been bringing you the most amazing minds, the most amazing authors, the most amazing journeys and stories and lessons of life, and sharing their brilliance with everyone. And I'm just the idiot with the mic. So anyway, guys, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives if that's a good reason. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, YouTube.com/Chris Voss, and Facebook.com/Chris Voss. Today, an amazing young lady on the show. We're going to be talking about her new book and some of her insights and how you can improve the quality of probably your diet as well as your life. She is the author of the latest book to come out called Sugar Be Sugarin', Your BS Guide to Taking Back Your Health by Dr. Erin M. Reardon. We're going to get it with her and find out all of her details. Her book came out January 26, my birthday. Most people don't know I was born this year. It's kind of one of those things when you're a vampire. So anyway, and also her book has a foreword from it from Dr. Jason Fung, a friend of the show. He's been on several times and always recommend his work as well. So we're going to get into the deets on that, as the kids say. She is a board certified emergency physician, breast cancer survivor, and founder of Emergency Health Fix. Over 25 years in emergency medicine, she witnessed firsthand how often doctors are simply too late to prevent the chronic diseases they treat. For years, patients asked her to fix them at a stage when she knew prevention would have been far easier to repair. What she didn't expect was to face that lesson herself. She assumed she was just overweight, exhausted, stressed, and getting older. She didn't realize she'd become the exact metabolic combination that leads to disease, and that a serious diagnosis was developing underneath it. As a physician, she felt she should have recognized it sooner. That realization changed everything. Determined to get ahead of her disease instead of reacting to it, she shifted her focus to teaching metabolic health, strategic nutrition, and intelligent fasting. She's the author of aforementioned books, supported by leading voices in metabolic medicine, and she now leads interactive app-based health challenge programs across the U.S., helping high-achieving individuals take control of their health, reversing disease, and preventing it before crisis strikes. Welcome to the show. How are you, Doc?
Wow, that was a lot. I'm great.
There you go. Well, you've been up to a few things there on your bio. So you've been doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
There you go. So give us .coms, websites. Where do you want people to get to know you better on the interwebs?
Probably the easiest way to find me is really on Google. You can go straight to Google, look for me at Fixed Nation, F-I-X-E-D, Fixed Nation with Dr. Erin, and that'll bring you to my website. My website is fixednation.org. It'll bring you to my YouTube channel, which is where you can feel and see how I teach right there on YouTube. And, it connects you to everywhere else that I am. I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook. People can reach me just about anywhere.
There you go. So give us a 30,000 overview. What's inside your book?
Well, my book is a side by side. It's my life story, how I went from being an ER doctor to the doctor that I am today. And it's also a map for how to make yourself healthier. So I think you said it was a BS guide. It's a no BS guide. No BS here.
Did I read that wrong in the camera that's here?
That's okay. So it's a no BS guide, an easy way to get healthy fast. And yes, the title tells you where it's at. To get healthiest fastest is to cut the sugar. So to learn all about sugar and how to reduce it in your life to get well fast.
Did I read that wrong on the intro?
You did.
No. Oh, I did. My apologies then. Well, there's a camera right there. So that's probably it. We'll see if we can fix that in the final. So Sugar Be Sugarin', your no BS guide to taking back your health. And I know it's like we mentioned, Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, wrote the foreword on this, and I think you've done some work with him. Is that correct?
Yeah. Jason
Yeah.
is my buddy
Yeah.
ever since my own diagnosis. So,
Mhm.
so we go back, and when I wrote this book, and in my new life, I'm much like Jason. And so when he agreed to write the forward for this book, I was like, oh my God, that is incredible. I can't believe that. And he was like, what do you mean? We're rowing the same boat. We are in the same family. We do this thing together. We make people healthy.
Yeah.
And Jason he's really the same type of doc as me. There's a slew of us across the world, and in my ear, I think that we're all, everybody knows this stuff. But then when I start talking to people on the streets, I realize actually, no, we're just, we're talking to each other, and nobody actually knows all this stuff. So the docs that I hang out with are the docs who realize that traditional medicine isn't really bringing the promise home of making people healthy, which is the reason we all went to medical school. Like you ask a doctor, why did they go to medical school? And every one of us went to school to make people healthy.
Yeah.
But then quickly we learn about symptoms. We learn how to make a diagnosis. We learn how to recognize illness. We learn how to treat it. And we're well into our career before we realize, like, what? We aren't really making anyone healthy. We see the same people coming back over and over and over again with chronic diseases. And in the ER where I was, when I started young, it was exciting there. And it was mostly people like on television who were coming in nearly dying. And either we're going to save them or we're not. And we become the hero sometimes. And the other times we get used to talking to people about death, and we're pretty good at that.
Wow.
But over time, after 25 years in the ER, life outside the ER completely changed. People wanted everything fast, and they can read on Google. If they have belly pain, they go onto Google and they already know what are the top 5 things that they're worried about, right? So like they don't want to make an appointment with their doctor and 2 weeks later be seen, and 2 weeks after that get the CAT scan. Now everyone is in the ER.
Anytime I put something into do I have this on med.com or whatever it is, it just basically always comes back and says you're already dead. Like, why
tells you
bother?
You're gonna die. Yeah.
You died like 5 days ago or something. So and now, is part of this a memoir of your journey of coming down with cancer and how you dealt with it?
Yeah. So,
There you go.
I mean, what was going on in the ER with me was that over time I was realizing, man, we are not really saving any lives. And more, the ER these days isn't crowded with people that are dying today. They're crowded with people that have chronic conditions that are chronically killing them. And so it just became a sad kind of landscape, because more and more everything was ending up in the ER. And because of that, the hospital system, the insurance systems, they don't want to help anyone, right? They don't want to pay for all that stuff. And more I have it all falling in my lap, and I'm not able to fix it. And like you said at the beginning, in my intro, everyone would ask me, like, Doc, can you fix me? And that's the reason why it's in the title of my company. Is called Emergency Health Fix, because at first when people would ask me that, I'd be like, oh, that's cute. I could put you back on your feet, but you're going to go back to your doctor and let your doctor fix you. But then when everybody ended up in the ER with me being their primary doctor, I realized we're not really fixing anyone. So it got really frustrating. And luckily for me, I had a friend, my best friend moved into my neighborhood, and she's an ER nurse. So she knew the whole frustration. She was like, you know what? Let's just forget about that. Let's just get you and I healthy. Let's just focus on you and me. Let's us feel great. And she's like, you're a doctor, bippity boppity boo, just do your thing and make us both healthy. Give us a 6-pack by summer. And I was like,
6-pack by summer. Okay.
That's great. But I don't know how to do that. That's not what we learn as a doctor.
Oh.
And it wasn't until I had a friend talking to me in my yard and saying that to me that I realized, 20 years into my career, I realized I don't know how to make people healthy. That's not what I learned in medical school.
Yeah. I mean, it almost sounds like the picture it draws for me of what you guys are doing in ER, trying to just patch people together that come in, is like, you're trying to, what's that is there an old parable about the Dutch boy who's always trying to stop all the holes in a dam that's leaking, but he doesn't have enough fingers and stuff to block it. And, you're just constantly trying to stop the bleeding, as it were. I know. And one of the things I've always thought was really interesting and sad was people I knew, they would go in and get that stomach shrinkage surgery, and so they could lose weight. And then they would put all the weight, they'd lose some weight for a short while, and they put all back on, then some. And you're like, but you did the surgery.
Yeah.
And, you guys patch people up in ER, but they just go right back to eating Big Macs and snorting lines of high fructose corn syrup off of the Coke bottle there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did that yesterday.
Okay. So my friend and I, we went on this path of, the whole path that everyone does, the exercise more, the eat less. And we kept exercising more and eating less, nothing happening. So eventually I just got fed up with it and was like, you know what? I'm a smart person, right? I'm an ER doc. I'm a smart person. I ought to be able to figure this out. There are people, look around, there are clearly people who have figured it out. So I just started reading the science of wellness, the science of prevention. And when I turned it on us, we quickly got really, really well, really fast. We dropped a ton of weight. Both of us.
You get the six-pack
bikinis
pounds there?
Yes, I do.
All right.
We both dropped a ton of weight, but more than that, we really discovered our own energy. We started turning our fat into energy, and all of a sudden we couldn't stop. Just we were overjoyed. It was like somebody pulled the wool off from over our eyes, like we came out of the fog. I call it like coming out of the carb coma, because you don't even realize how many things are holding you under until they lift. So once we did that, it was so evident so quickly to all of our friends around us that we had friends like left and right asking us, can we help them? Can we help them? And that's, to tell somebody I'm going to make you look better and feel better is the thing that drags people into me still today.
Yeah.
Because, I can tell you, I can make your blood pressure better. I can make your cholesterol better. Who cares about that? Nobody's interested, right? Like it's not exciting. It's not sexy. Nobody cares. But the moment you start feeling like you can't look better, you don't like how you look in the mirror, that's something you want to fix.
I don't know. I'm 58 and starting to have issues. And so I'm at the age where if you do tell me that you can make my blood pressure better and what was the other thing you said? My blood sugar better or something? I am kind of turned on by that. Cholesterol,
obesity, it's your blood sugar, it's your blood pressure.
That does kind of turn me on, those topics, because I'm old and I could go in any time.
Right. And we started feeling like 10 and 20 years younger. Yeah. We would look at our pictures and be like, what the heck? Why do we look so much younger? It was amazing.
In fact, that's why we have ER doctors like yourself on at least once a week, just in case something goes wrong during a show. So.
All right, wait, I'm going to tell you though. I'm bringing it back full circle to the ER. So we started looking and feeling great. Within a few months' time, we had 20, 30, 40 friends and family from across the country who wanted to do this. And we were just texting them like, this is what we're doing. This is how we're eating. I was showing pictures of my meals and people were copying my meals and they were getting the same results. So it was amazing. But what was more amazing to Sharon and I, being that we were working in the ER, is that more than weight loss, we started to have our friends and family calling us and be like, hey, I don't need that medicine anymore. Hey, I canceled that surgery. Hey, do you know my blood pressure is now normal? I don't need my diabetic meds anymore. My doctor's telling me I don't need this. I don't need that. So it took, just making all of our friends looking and feeling better and then having them all echo back to us what was happening. We realized we did actually have the fix. We did actually figure out how to prevent all the disease that we were seeing in the ER. And as soon as we did that, we would go into our jobs now with like a new energy. When people say, can you fix me? I'd be like, you know what? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I need to come home with you. I need to see what you're doing. I need to correct what you're doing at home. So it got really exciting. And right as it got super exciting, and we started envisioning this as like, wow, we could this is maybe a business. This is crazy. How many people we were making better fast. So right as that was happening, and I had just lost my 50 pounds, right, which a lot of that came out of my chest, I realized I had a lump.
Really?
So all that excitement came to this screeching halt. Because in that moment, I had like complete fear, like, oh my God, now I have hundreds of people following me down this road. And did my road lead to cancer?
Whoa.
So yeah. So thank goodness I have my degree. I'm an MD. So that got me in the back door with a lot of conversations. So immediately I was, contacting every person I could contact. Jason Fung had just released the cancercode.com. So I was in his DMs like, Jason, I need to talk to you right now. So, and I was talking to all the metabolic experts from around the world, all the cancer docs from around the world. And the coolest thing about that is every one of them that I talked to, I was like, listen, I got these people following me. I know that you guys are all suggesting the same things. Like, is everybody dying of cancer left and right? What's going on? And they're like, oh, hey, like, you know, what's happening with you is horrible. But listen, you already know how to fix it. Like, you're already on the right path. You're doing it and you're helping everybody. Just keep doing it. So I was about the healthiest cancer person that ever was.
Really?
Yeah, really. But I mean, my oncologists were like, this is amazing. What are you doing? And I kept telling them, I take care of my metabolic health. I know how to stay energized. I know how to stay well through this diagnosis. So that was a horrible time for me. But, and in the beginning, I couldn't really see it. You know, all the docs that I talked to, Jason Fung, when I talked to him, he was like, you are going to be so much more popular when you come through the other side of this.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like, I don't understand. He's like, people don't want to hear what to do from somebody that's never been sick, that's never been 80 pounds overweight. They want to hear from you. How did you do it? How did you get through it?
You never buy at a restaurant with skinny waiters.
I know. And I did not at the time. I was, you know, it was really hard for me. But the people who were following me then still follow me. Yeah. And we've all come through it and we're all doing great. And we're going on to save a ton of lives. So, and he was right. They were all right that it did actually launch us into a new space where I understood medicine on a whole new level, right? Like I understood what it was like to be on the other end of a really bad diagnosis.
And come out of it, utilizing
thinking you're going to die and nothing's going to make you better.
And coming out of it using the tools that you developed.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing because now on my teams, I really combine the people who are really well, that want to stay well, people that want to prevent things, and people who are really sick that need friends and need support for getting through. And I can give them the confidence that we can get you through. So working together like that is really powerful and it's really fun. Yeah,
powerful and fun. The way we like things. Now, the book is, got sugar in the title. You've told us where you pointed to where the doll hurt on the doll where the sugar hurt you. What is this? What is sugar about, and why is it bad or is it good, or what are we trying to say here? I guess.
Yeah. So sugar is bad in every way.
You write this down.
Sugar is poison. Sugar is addictive. And, the book goes into a lot of the history of sugar and maybe a lot of the history that people don't understand. I mean, there were hundreds of years ago, we fought wars over sugar. There was a lot going on because sugar is an addictive substance and people value it highly. And there's a really simple experiment that I love. There was an experiment with mice. The mice were addicted to cocaine. So they were already cocaine addicted mice. And they took those mice and gave them two pathways. At the end of one pathway was a pile of cocaine. At the other pathway, the end of the other pathway was a pile of sugar. The mice routinely chose the sugar.
Wow. Well, you don't have to have a straw and a razor blade to snort it. So that's why. No,
but to me, that's all you need to say, right? About how addictive sugar is. And then once you realize that, and the fact that we still use sugar as a medicine in the hospital, it soothes you, it puts you to sleep, right? So we still use it in babies to soothe them. Once you realize that and how addictive it is, we start talking about why it's in all of our food these days,
Yeah.
And why like RFK is on the war path to get sugar. I'm not political, but I'm with him on that to get sugar out of the system and to flip the food pyramid and be like, hey, all this sugar is poisoning us. It's literally causing all the illness out there because it's inflammatory. And
just keep in mind, unlike
the
mice, he was snorting coke. He chose the cocaine off the toilet seat, according to him. That's according to him, folks. That's a direct quote. Anyway, whatever the brainworm said this way today. So yeah, hopefully that really is going to happen. So I discovered the sugar was bad when I used to drink 15 Mountain Dews a day, and then drink vodka at night, which is a form of sugar, mixed with Mountain Dew as a chaser. And God knows what else I was eating. Fast food. I've been singing all my life, so I'm always on the road eating and doing my adventures, building companies and stuff. And And so I always eat on the road. And so it's the worst food for you most times in most places, unless you're even like dining salads at McDonald's has high calories. So I had put on a lot of weight, and I read the book Presto by Chris Penn Jillette, and then I got to know Cray Ray, who's featured in the book as his consultant for dietary stuff, and I started fasting, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I started losing like 3 to 4 pounds a day. I was that fat, and I lost over 100 pounds in 3 months, and then I stopped the Mountain Dews. I think I started the Mountain Dew. That's what really accelerated it. I kept the vodka, but I stopped the Mountain Dews. But and then I started really seeing the dangers of sugar. And shortly after that, my dog started having where her anal sacs are, started having bleeding, and she hadn't been drinking for a while. She was drinking funny, and I didn't know what that was. So we went to the vet, and they go, she has anal sac cancer, and the reason she's not drinking is because the cancer, cancer doesn't really kill you; it just kills your organs by fucking with your system, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was, it was telling the pituitary gland to put out all this, what is it in your blood that it puts out so that it will kill the livers and kidneys? Lots of carbon? No, calcium. Calcium.
Yes.
So that's why she was drinking like a fish. Or no, she didn't stop drinking. She was drinking like a fish. That was it. So anyway, went in. The doctor gave her a 3-day death sentence, said come back in 3 days, take a lot of pictures, and then come back, and we'll call it. And that was it. And so I went home going, well, she's got a death sentence, so we don't have anything to lose. Let's Google some shit on the internet. Yeah. And I found this folks that had found that their dogs were healed from cancer or survived longer with cancer by eliminating sugar from their diet completely and feeding them high fats.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that she had a 3-day death sentence. So I'm like, what are you going to do? And I talked to some people, and they're like, you're going to kill her with all that fat and no sugar. What the hell? And I'm like, well, what do we have to lose here? Right.
Yeah.
So I put her on a high fat diet, started buying the hamburger that you can find that has like 20% fat or something. It's crazy. She wouldn't eat sardines, which are, I guess, the highest. And then I put her on this high fat diet, and I took sugar out of her system. There's sugar in all these damn dog treats and crap too. And she recovered to a certain degree. She started normalizing drinking. She started running around. She started eating again. That was the other thing she stopped doing. She stopped eating. That's why the vet was like, well, she stopped eating. This is the signal they do when they're done. Turns out that wasn't it. She didn't want to eat the dog food because the dog food was filled with sugar. And somehow her body was like, this shit is not going to help me in my condition. And so I switched to that diet, and to almost the chagrin of the vets and the shock of the vets, over almost 2 years, 1 year and 3/4, she lived, and she came every day for treats, and she played, and she ate the best food, of course, high fat meat diet. And she got as much as she wanted, and she stayed alive for 1.75 years. And the docs were just aghast every time I take her in. They're like, I can't believe she's still here.
Yeah.
And the cancer did slowly grow on her, and for a time it seemed to stop for a while, but in the end it was really arthritis that knocked her off. She lost her ability to stand, and it was probably the cancer too, didn't really help back there. But it was a really good example of cutting out the sugar. And since then, what we learned with her has saved so many other dogs. We have dogs that they've had total shutdown of organs and shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you just kill this dog, the liver shut down, the kidney shut down. And we brought him back from death just by that single element of high fat diet, no sugar.
Yeah, it is amazing how quickly it happens. So like my protocol is in the book. My protocol is a 5-day protocol.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a guarantee that you wake up, and once you feel it, once you know it, you don't go back. You're like, oh my God, it's amazing. And what you're saying, I once had a client who, after training her on how she should be eating to feel better, she was like, she had a bunch of show dogs. She had 5 show dogs. She was like, oh, all right, I guess I'm going to feed them exactly I'm going to feed myself what my show dogs eat. She was feeding her dogs better than herself.
Wow. I think my
Yeah.
dogs do that. So. But I think the budget.
Humans are animals. So yes, this
Yeah.
applies. This applies to, I'm always social media is always trying to be like, you'd be a better company if you would just talk to only 52-year-old women who are hormonal, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? No, I teach something that is safe for dogs, cats, girls, boys, women, babies. This should be how we're all eating.
Yeah.
We should all be reducing the sugar.
Now, what about this high fructose corn syrup or the fake sugars like the stevia and all that other jazz?
Okay, well, high fructose corn syrup and stevia, I would not throw in the same boat. So,
okay. Well, I'm just throwing out examples.
Anything with high fructose corn syrup, 100%, you want to keep out of your life. All right.
What?
So anything that has a chemical name like that to begin with, should that's the worst thing for you. Stevia is not terrible.
Okay.
Stevia is better. It does not. It's been known to not spike your blood sugar, not spike your insulin, so not mess with the hormones that lead to weight gain. But even so, if you keep adding stevia into things, you never really get rid of that penchant for wanting everything sweet. So I have this thing that I say, sweet calls to sweet. And when I start pointing it out for people, they start to understand, like every time you eat something sweet, it's like playing the lottery with your brain. Your brain will wait around for that next sweet. It'll just keep waiting, and it'll wait for a good 48 hours.
Yeah, it's that dopamine hit it wants. When you understand you're addicted to a drug, really.
Yeah.
They've engineered a lot of foods this way. McDonald's and other companies, they've engineered their foods in a lab to get you addicted. The only difference is they're not in Mexico, right? Making barrels of this stuff, but they're in America making it. It's completely legal to feed it to you. But that's why after you eat that crap, you don't feel you've gotten any nutrition, so you want more to try and get.
Exactly.
And
food is absolutely designed to be addictive, and it is filled with sugar. And they call the sugar 50 different names so that you don't recognize that's what you're eating.
It's so
but
hidden
that's
now.
what keeps you coming back.
Yeah, it's so hidden now. I'll have all these people that come up to me and they'll be like, yeah, Chris, you use this stuff and there's no sugar in it. It's good for me. And I'm like looking at the back at a million different, I don't know, ingredients in Swahili or something that you can't even pronounce. And you're like, I'm pretty sure one of these is some sort of sugar coating, coated COD element. One thing that my friend Ray Cray from Penn Jillette's book did with me to deal with that sugar thing. I don't know if you do this with your clients, but I'll just throw this out here. But one thing that he does is he has you eat potatoes for 2 weeks, nothing but potatoes. And if you've ever thought of suicide, try that. But what he does with that is the starch is pretty dead. And so what it does is it resets your tongue and your sugar biases and all that addiction that you have to sweetness. You just get used to eating nothing. And then when you go eat a salad or a nice peach or a nice blueberries or orange or something that's healthy for you, you're like, damn, this tastes better than I thought it did.
Yeah, it's like flavor explosion.
And it kind of helps reset your stuff, because one of the problems why people don't like, the healthy stuff is it doesn't taste as crazy dopamine filled Jack's sugar spike me stuff. And so once you retrain your brain, and I suppose you don't have to do the potatoes thing. You don't really have to do that. But if you can just stick with something different and go for a while, you'll enjoy stuff. Like I buy salads from farms now, and the just the way it looks tasty. The lettuce in the store looks dead to me. I'm just like, this thing looks pale. But yeah, you're right. Changing that taste, a palate or whatever you call it, can make all the difference in the world, because you don't crave it anymore.
Yeah, it's hard, but the longer you stay away from it, the better everything gets. And so when I work with people, I bring people into challenges. So we call it a challenge, right? To like actually stay away from sugar. And I connect people from all across the US on my app. They can talk with me, talk with their coaches, and we exchange, like, this is what we're eating. And we help them. I have a ton of cookbooks too. They come with my program. So we help them actually know what to eat and make it easy for them to put things on their plate that taste delicious, that pull them away from the sugar.
Yeah.
So, and the longer you stay away from it, of course, we have to pull them through detox, because they go through a detox, which only solidifies the fact that, yes, this is addiction, because you're going to go through detox symptoms. That's where my ER work comes in. I'm a specialist at detox, if nothing else. So I help them through that. And then easily within 4 or 5 days, they're on the other side of it. And they're like, wow, this is incredible.
It doesn't take long. You just kind of do the little fast there of the sugar fast.
It doesn't take long. And like you said, you did things a little bit backwards with your fasting. That's like what I call the 1-2 punch. When I'm helping people get healthy, I go for the sugar first.
Yeah.
Because once you start controlling sugar, I call it the GLP-1 effect, right?
Really?
I see the GLP-1 drugs out there, and I'm like, ugh, if only these people would meet me first. Like, that is exactly the effect that you get when you simply reduce sugar. You get the GLP-1 effect. Your hunger is completely controlled.
Yeah, and you're reducing the insulin spikes, right? Because you're not having.
So once you have your hunger controlled, now you can maybe eat one less snack in your day. And then once you're eating one less snack, it's 2 less snacks, and then maybe one less meal. And so you naturally kind of roll towards that intermittent fasting kind of lifestyle. So that's exactly how I teach people. Like, first we're going to cut the sugar. That's the giant obstacle to what's holding you back from achieving everything else you want to achieve with your health. And then fasting is the next, like I said, 1-2 punch on that.
So is there a certain fast you recommend? I know there's different variations, sometimes people do really long fasts. Sometimes people do like 24 hours. My success was doing a fast. I'd have coffee in the morning with no sugar, no milk, just black as my soul. And then I would go as long as I could before I would eat my first meal. And it would usually be a salad or some vegetables. And that was where I was losing like 3 pounds a day. Plus I cut out all pop. I got rid of all the Mountain Dews. Still was drinking vodka, but I was losing 33 to 4 pounds a day. Like, women on Facebook hated me because I would post it every day. Facebook was my accountability partner. So I would post every single day how much I had eaten the day before and what I lost, because anytime I would be sitting around the house going, I should go get McDonald's burger, I'd be like, you got to post tomorrow. No, not doing that. But yeah, it really helped me. The other thing, like you talk about with sweets, is learning to replace those things. So one of the factors I learned was, if you can reteach the tongue, the palate, and you can take and make stuff that's veganese. Okay, that just covers the 5 trillion versions of veganese, so don't write me, people. You weren't really vegan. So by you learning to prepare that food and season it, you can take, I forget the fruit, the jackalope. I think, no, it's not jackalope. It's I think it starts with a J, but it's the version of the durian, but it's not the durian Asian fruit, and it's like bubble gum. I forget the name of it. Jack something. I think it is.
Jackfruit. There's a jackfruit.
Yeah, I think it's jackfruit. Yeah, okay. There you go. Good jackfruit, Chris. Duh. Could be jackfruit. It's a fruit, Chris. Yeah, jackfruit. And so I learned to make like barbecue. I can't pull any terms today. Barbecue pulled pork, seasoned with jackfruit, bubblegum tasting fruit, and you season it, you cook it, tastes just like you're eating meat. It's nice and fatty. And so I learned to do all that, and that really helped. And like today, I keep lots of fruits and vegetables around the house. So if I get yesterday I got a sugar craving. I was on the way home, and I was like, and a little evil voice said, "You should stop and get yourself a Coke." And I was like, no. And I'm like, I know you have raspberries and blackberries at home, and you love those. So you're going to go home and you're going to eat those. And I did. And that fixed my sugar craving.
Okay. And that shows something, because raspberries and strawberries are the healthiest fruit of the fruits, right? So I would call all fruits desserts. They are nature's desserts.
Oh yeah.
So I do not recommend that people eat a whole lot of fruit, but if any fruit, the super high fiber fruits that are also very sweet, the sugar, the berries are the best. Yeah.
Pineapple is good for your gut health, from my understanding. I'm not a doctor. But
I don't eat a lot of pineapple, although it has a good amount of fiber. So any fruit that has a decent amount of fiber is a better fruit than others.
Definitely. And so I just keep that around the house. The other trick I have, if you didn't pick that up, if the audience didn't pick that up, is I learned this one rule that's really good. and you're welcome to use it. If it's in your house, it's in your mouth. So don't bring it home. So when you're playing that Faustian bargain bullshit at the store, was like we all do, we all go, I'll buy that case of Oreos, but I'm only have one a day. You're doing that bargaining with yourself. No. In fact, the best thing to do is look at your cart when you pull up to the thing and go, how much of this shit do I really not need to be eating? And just pick it up and put it on the shelf. I've done that a million times. Get a few dirty looks from the grocery gals. But anytime I find myself doing that Faustian bargain crap where I'm like, well, I only drink one can of Coke a day. I've even done the thing where I'm like, I'll buy the small cans of Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, when I have a Coke at home, I'll just be having half a Coke. And you know what you do? You drink 3 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You got to keep this stuff out of your house.
I don't bring it home. And therefore, it does not get in my mouth. And I'm really lazy too. So if I really want a Coke, I've got to go get in the car and get ready and find the keys. And then I got to go get me a Coke. And you know what I do? Because I'm lazy. I go, I'll just eat whatever's in the fridge or have a coffee or something.
That's exactly right. That's why I tell my clients all the time, do not buy those protein bars, all that easy keto crap. Do not buy that stuff. If you're going to make yourself one of these keto bombs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They need a sweet treat. Make it for yourself. Promise that you'll make it for yourself, because you know what? All of us are too lazy. We just won't do it half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have it, which is way better for you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's way better for you to not have those sweets.
When you cure yourself of the addiction, and a lot of people, the other thing people don't realize, a lot of times when you're hungry, you're not really hungry. You're dehydrated.
Yes.
You need water. You don't need another McDonald's burger filled with salt with all that sodium that's going to lock up your throat and just make you want to drink more and eat more. And so it's really wild. What else have we talked about? We've been just having fun here on the show.
You asked me about fasting. I have a whole ton of YouTube videos about fasting. Because I teach all kinds of fasting. So in fact, I'm teaching a course right now called Spring Fasting for a whole group across the country, and they're learning how to be prolonged fasters. So I have fasters in that group that are fasting, just 12 hours in their day, and it's a stretch, and that's fine. That's so you got to start. You always have to start low, so if you have not gone through a day where you haven't had a 12-hour stretch, including sleep, God, you got to start there. Okay. Yeah. But then you keep going. And I think the easiest thing is kind of what you explained. I mean, I don't know if you were doing OMAD, 1 meal a day, but
for me, it was kind of like half a meal of salad or eggs.
Okay. So when people ask me about the quickest way to fast, to lose weight, the quickest way to gain health, to drop meds, I always tell them 18-6. 18-6 is the easy. So fast for 18 hours, choose 6 hours in your day when it makes sense for you to eat. So is it the time that you want to be with your family, the time that you want to eat a meal out and be with friends, or are you a morning person? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So just choose 6 hours, stick with those 6 consecutive hours, and have 18 hours where your body's fasting. That will heal your body so fast.
Yeah.
If you can go beyond that. So beyond that is what I teach. Like right now, as I speak to you, I'm like 48 hours into a fast myself.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
All right.
So I'm fasting with my team.
You haven't ripped my head off or done anything that I do after 48 hours. I'm like, rah.
No, and you can hear me. I'm like excited.
Yeah,
the thing that fasting, that good energy does to you is it lights up your brain. It turns you on. You're not asleep anymore. You know? So especially on days when I want to have the word recall, I want to be able to speak clearly, represent myself right. On important days now, I will fast on purpose.
Yeah. And just being consistent with it. Do you believe in what do they call them? Bad days, or what do they call them? Cheat days?
Cheat days. Of course. Yeah, of course.
Do you? Okay.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
sometimes those cheat days can bring back that sugar. When I have my
birthday, I'm going to have birthday cake. So
okay. Well, yeah.
That's one of the reasons that people will push away from like the whole low carb concept. Like, I can't live my life without sugar. And that's not at all it. It's just, I want to teach you where the sugar is, so that you can choose when you want to have more or when you want to have less. And you'll learn over time that most of the time you feel a lot better when you choose less. But of course you can add it back anytime. You just got to be careful of that lotto system coming back. Anytime you put it back in, now your brain's like, oh, that's a choice again. Okay. And then you'll have hunger for a few days that you have to deal with. So it revs up your hunger But
Yeah, it's kind of like
you,
heroin, man.
yeah,
Once you get off, you got to stay off it. You take a
yeah.
little hit, you might end up back on the streets.
Yeah. In
So,
our culture though, I mean, you can't avoid it's sugar is tied into love, it's tied into happiness, it's tied into all these joyful events
mhm,
and that's part of being well also, right? Having
yeah.
community, being involved. So you don't want to totally take yourself out of life by never having sugar again.
Oh,
That's why my book is called Sugar Be Sugarin', because it's
mhm.
good, it's bad, it's everywhere. That's that's what the title means there.
Well, anything
Um,
is kind of good in healthy moderation, right? Like,
right,
I
exactly.
mean, I go out to eat almost every other day. I work from home, so I got to get the hell out of the house. And a lot of times I'll make chicken at home and cook that and season it. But sometimes I just want to get out and go eat. I try and eat healthy, usually chicken when I go out. It seems to work really good for my protein and my body and fitness and working out. Um, and I'll have a Coke. I'll have a Coke when I'm out. But I have one Coke and I usually get a medium. I don't get one of those. I don't know what is Del Taco the other night. I ordered they were like, you want a regular or a medium? And I didn't think about it. I was like, give me a regular. And they gave me a regular Coke that was like a multi big gulp or so. It was like huge. And I
Mm,
was like, oh man. And see, the problem is I know I'm going to eat that or drink that if I sit there because I kind of have an OCD ADHD thing where I'm obsessive compulsive. If you put anything in front of me that's liquid or food, I'll eat it. I'll just
yeah.
eat it, and then I'll be like, same with vodka, so we can't do that anymore. Um, the hangovers got too bad, but I'll just sit there and work it. And I learned to use that habit against me or for me by doing that with water. So I have a great RO system. I have great tasting water. I found that was the key to losing weight and fasting. Because if you have really great tasting water that's super clean, then you're gonna stay on your fast.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what story I started to tell, but it's gone now. But I think I still gave some good information. I segued too many segues. Welcome to the Chris Voss Show. It's the ADHD in me. But yeah, so now how do people work with you? Let's talk about some of the offerings on your website so we get some offers to move here. What do you have on your website for programs and how do people know if they're a fit for you as a client?
Well, the best way to know if you're a fit for me is probably to watch me on YouTube, right?
Ah,
Because when you join me in a program, you're watching me through your phone. I'm teaching you through your phone. So I do what I call little micro lessons. Okay. I always have people ask me in the ER, like, can I see you, doctor? Can I see you? Because I like you. And nobody's ever explained to me like you do that I can
mhm.
fix myself. So so I figured out that is my gift, that I can explain complex things really simply. And I like to do it in just 5-minute aliquots. So
Oh,
I tell people, like, when they say I don't have time, I'm like, if you go to the bathroom 3 times a day, you have time to learn from me, because that's how quick I'm going to teach you what
that's
you could
usually
be
where you
doing.
watch all the YouTube videos anyways in the bathroom.
That's right. That's right. So my programs are filled with me by video. You're learning from me. You also learn from your teammates and your coaches and all of the other things that we share with you. But I think if you go to YouTube and you hear me talk and you kind of don't like me, then I'm probably not a good fit for you. If you kind of
Oh,
do like me, then I'm probably a good fit for you. And you're probably going to learn a lot from me.
there you go.
So yeah, I would say that's probably the easiest way to know if we're gonna be able to pal up together and make you healthier.
Well, I just subscribed to your YouTube channel. I found it there. Emergency Health Fix, Dr. Erin Fix Nation. Folks, you
Okay.
can find that on the things there. So I'll
Yeah.
check it out. Yeah, but it's this has been the best investment I've ever made in eating healthy, getting rid of sugar, paying attention to what you put in your mouth. We talk a lot about on the show. I don't know if you cover in your book, but we talk about gut health
Yep.
and how even if you have a bad gut, it can cause you brain inflammation and then you won't think straight. I think most people on Twitter have gut health problems. Anyway, whatever that means. We like to call back joke on that. You talk to people now. One thing you mentioned too, if you don't mind, we're going a little long here. I don't know if you need a hard out,
No,
but
that's fine.
one thing you did mention that I want to get back to was women who might be perimenopausal or menopausal or over 50. You said something about women over 50, they're dealing with hormones. And I have
Yeah.
a huge dating group, about 5,000 people, a lot of women over 50. There's a lot of things they talk to me about, issues they're going through with menopause and stuff. And it's
Yeah.
really hard on them. And
Yeah.
so can sugar, regulating sugar and doing some of the things you recommend in your book help them get through those?
Yes.
changes?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because
Okay.
what I like to tell people, we were just talking about this last night with my group. What I like to tell people is when you hear experts out there who want to tell you how to get healthier, who want to tell you how to lose the weight that all of a sudden you can't lose because your metabolism is slowing down. What I tell people is the hormone, when we say you got to correct your hormones,
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking about the sex hormones. I think in the public, everybody immediately goes to estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. And
Mm-hmm.
then if you're at that point where you're like, oh, I don't have those anymore. So there you go. That's my problem. And I'm never going to be fixed.
Mhm.
That's a problem with your thinking. Those hormones are small compared to the hormones of metabolism, and the hormones of metabolism that get fixed when you drop sugar are insulin and cortisol.
Yeah, cortisol.
Those are like, I call those the king and the queen, right? Like
Mhm.
the estrogen and the progesterone, these are the kids in the room. This is like, yes, when you start to get older and you lose those hormones, and for men, testosterone as well. Yes,
Mhm.
it is harder to lose weight, but it doesn't mean that you can't. Instead of paying attention to the kids, you just go straight to mom and dad. You start paying attention to how can you fix that insulin? How can you fix that cortisol? And you do that primarily by dropping the sugar.
There you go. Yeah, some people, they get confused on, some people they use it as an excuse. Well, I can't do it because, my hormones are all screwed up from menopause or, perimenopause or old age
Yeah.
and stuff. And
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
hate to see people think like, "Oh, I'm
well, they're
old."
eating a Big Mac.
As soon as you start eating right, you feel a lot younger,
Oh,
a
God.
ton younger, and you stop worrying about that stuff as well. You're like, "Hey,
Oh, yeah.
I suddenly feel better than I did when I was 20."
My body loves me now. It's like, thank you for putting nice stuff in us and
Yeah.
not drinking Mountain Dew and vodka. I quit drinking vodka back in I think 2020 when the COVID came along, and I just couldn't. At 50, my body was just like, "Fuck you, we're not doing this with you anymore. You want to look at a bottle of vodka, you're gonna get a 3-day hangover headache just looking at it."
Yeah.
And but that's sugar too. That, to my understanding, alcohol turns the sugar in your
You
system.
mentioned that. I was like, "Oh, he knows that." You mentioned
Yeah,
that. So
smart.
reducing sugar in your diet
Mhm.
really makes you a lightweight because of its link to alcohol.
Ah,
So, because of the way it's processed. So I have to warn people when I take them off of sugar in that first week, like, hey, if you're a drinker, that one drink it's going to be about 5 times the effect that you're
mhm.
used to. So please don't drive tonight. Don't be the
Yeah.
driver. And
Yeah.
what you figure out over time when you're a long-term low sugar, low carb eater,
Mhm.
when you do that, you realize over time you need less and less and less alcohol for the same effect.
Yeah.
And really, for most of us, eventually it's so little that you're like, why am I even
Why
drinking
bother?
anymore?
I'm saving
And
a
you just quit.
fortune.
It
Yeah.
makes it a lot easier to quit. There's a lot of studies that show that as well. Like people that get admitted with alcohol detox, they put them on low carb
Yeah.
diets and they actually have less cravings. It's amazing.
The only downside about not drinking alcohol anymore and being healthy, and your body will love you for it, I seriously guarantee you, um, is anytime you go into a restaurant or you go someplace and you're like, take the wine glass, they treat you like you had a problem. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were an alcoholic once, so we'll take you. Or like I go on a date and some girl goes, are you gonna order a drink? Oh, and I'm just gonna have a coffee, but go ahead and have a wine. I don't care if people drink around me. I don't have a problem. But they give you
Yeah.
this
That bothers me too.
like,
It
oh, you
bothers me.
must have
It
you must
bothers
have
me
had a
that they
problem.
treat you like a kid, right? They take
Yeah.
away the glass and
Yeah.
they give you like a paper cup.
Yeah, I should just be like, no, I'm gonna drink my coffee out of the wine glass. But
I
no,
like my water in the wine glass. I would still like to use the fancy glass and feel like I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't drink either. I drink zero alcohol, and it's because of the whole low carb thing. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's more because of my cancer diagnosis. So,
oh yeah, I mean, it's a
and
toxicant. I don't know, is that the right word?
yeah, breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer. And the number 1 cause is obesity. The number 2 cause is alcohol. So losing
Really?
the weight was great, but now I feel like
You're
if
beating both.
I take a drink and then God forbid my cancer comes back, because any cancer patient knows once you're a cancer patient, you're always concerned that it's
Yeah.
going to come back, right? So
Yeah.
you got to do everything that you can. You got to
Yeah.
empower yourself to feel like, at least if it does come back, I won't be in the position where I'm like, man, I wish I didn't have that drink yesterday.
Well,
Thinking that could have.
mhm.
So I stay away from it altogether.
And a lot of people feel social peer pressure from it. Like I've had so many people say to me, like, "Don't you feel weird when you're out with a date or you're at the club or a bar with some friends and you're like the weird one who's not?" And I'm like, my friends don't even know what I'm drinking. I ordered a
Yeah.
Coke. For all they know, it's a rum and Coke. They don't like give a shit. And like they're not like, well, let's check your drink and inspect it to make sure there's booze in it. They don't give a shit. And if it
Yeah.
looks like I'm drinking a Coke, and I don't have any problem with it because you know what? It feels so good not to have to deal with that. It feels so good not to have that 3 days of water bloating because you've dehydrated your system. Like I
Yeah.
used to, at the end, I was ballooning up. Like I'd put on like 5 pounds, I swear, of water gain for the hangover. And then you'd pee it out over 2 or 3 days, and you're just like, geez, how much water was in me?
Yeah.
And,
And it's the makers of beer and wine that just perpetuate this idea that like you're a loser if you're not drinking like everyone else. And that
yeah.
I think I was just listening to I think it was on the Huberman podcast. He had somebody on his show that was like, he was talking about addiction. And
Mhm.
he said, I think it's like something like 10% of the population drinks 100% of the alcohol that's sold. It's like,
Jesus.
it's not a lot.
That was probably me back in the day. I mean, I never had a problem. Like, if I was out of vodka, like, I wouldn't be starting to drink weird shit. I'd just be like, okay, well, I'll get some tomorrow. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely abused myself with it. I used it for abuse a little bit. For a long time, it was the sugar in it that was the fuel. So I'm an entrepreneur. I want to work later. I got stuff to do. I'd get a shot of vodka and suddenly I had some pickup energy and I'd kind of relax a bit. And so I'd be a little less stressed. And, I go for it.
Mhm.
I kind of worked in my 30s a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I thought it was better than it was. And I thought it was helping me sleep, which is the dumbest thing ever. I can't believe I believed that for 20 years. But I mean, it does help you sleep if you pass the fuck out, but that means you're going to wake up with blood in your eyes in the morning
Yeah.
and a
Not
headache.
sleep, pass out.
Yeah, you're going to pass out. But one other thing I was going to run by you, and I think you mentioned it about testosterone and different things. I had the worst problem for 2 or 3 years, even after you and Dr. Fung on the show and reading all I read. I could never get beyond 24 hours. I couldn't get to the 24-hour mark of fasting without crashing. Like I would
Mhm.
start spinning the fuck out. Um, and it wasn't like a hunger thing where like I gotta eat somewhere, I'm gonna kill somebody. It was just functioning. I started shutting down. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And so I just kept my daily, wake up in the morning, don't eat before bed, have a coffee, maybe have lunch or a late brunch. Go as far as you can. And
Yeah.
then, drink lots of water. Oh, and my other two tricks are water and then a spoonful of apple cider vinegar if I get hunger
Vinegar.
pains.
I knew you were going to say that.
And there's one other thing, salt, licking rock salt.
Yeah.
You can get this mineral salt that's really great. So I couldn't figure out what it was. And then about 2 years ago, I went and had my testosterone checked, and I did not have really any free testosterone. I had the basics, but I'd been working out for 3 years and couldn't build a lot of muscle, and I was stuck. And
Mhm.
I had low testosterone. And once I got my testosterone right, my body rebalanced, and now I can go beyond 24 hours and I don't hit the
Hmm.
wall.
That's
So
interesting. I was thinking you were going to say that you were over fasting. So when somebody tells me,
mm,
like you said that you had been, eating like one meal a day or half a meal a day, and then
mhm.
if you do that for a long time and then try a long fast, you will often fail because
Really?
you're over fasting. Your body's not
Yeah.
supported enough to
Mhm.
get you through a longer haul.
Oh, really?
So,
Very good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I teach a lot about that,
I
about
still got plenty
you
of
know
fat to
how
chew
not to
off.
overdo it.
Yeah, I still got plenty of fat to cannibalize. So, but one of the great things I remember Dr. Fung came on the show. He said, most people think that if you don't eat overnight, that somehow you'll die. If you like, I'm going to die. He's like,
Everyone
you can go.
thinks that. Everyone I train, everyone
Yeah,
universally, when I
yeah,
come into a fasting program, they're at like 9 o'clock their night, they're like, "Are you really sure? You're really sure that I should go to sleep? It's okay. I'm gonna be okay."
yeah.
I remember
No,
feeling that way as well. I remember that
yeah. I,
feeling.
I used to think that way. I'm like, I've got the
Mhm.
shakes. I must need food. I'm going to die any moment now.
Yeah. A lot of
And
that is
then,
mental, right?
oh
Like
yeah.
when you're not used to it, you will work yourself into the shakes, like you just said. Like
Yeah.
you can work yourself up with
Oh,
worry, and then
mhm,
that will make you not get through it.
yeah.
So
And
when we
then,
work with teams, that's part of the joy of being on a team. It's like the comfort
yeah.
of being together and going over that hump together.
And
It
having
makes
that
you feel safer.
accountability team that you're providing for people as a coach
Yeah.
really helps.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I did that with writing my book, Beacons Leadership. You just having that accountability makes you do the work because somebody's going to call your bullshit out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that really helps. But I'll never forget Dr. Fung. He said, yeah, most people can live like 30, 60 days as long as they have water and vitamins. They can live without food. And I told him how heavy I was at the time, which was like 350 or something like that, 300 and 320 or something. And he goes, yeah, Chris, you could probably go a whole year without eating. I'll never forget that. I was like, oh, okay. Well, all right. You are the doctor. And that's probably true, considering how much I have here to cannibalize. So
that's true. And I mean, and holding hands through it with an ER doctor feels better.
Yeah. Plus, you know who to call if you start getting those chest pains. So it's like it's a dual offering there.
Yeah.
I can't feel my left arm. What do I do, doc? Well, I'm an emergency doctor. Get your ass down. Anyway. So Dr. Erin, anything more you want to pitch out to us before we go?
Well, I mean, you said how you were struggling so long with your health. I mean, I just would reiterate that I was similar to you, very, very stressed out. The ER is a very stressful place. And I was, constantly like eating M&Ms and Diet Cokes and pizza and anything that would come in the door. There's no time to eat. We would just eat anything.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that on top of all the stress, I mean, 20 years of that is what I think probably caused my cancer. I'll never know,
Really?
but
Yeah.
That's the whole reason that I try to teach people now, like how to not get into that trouble. It's horrible, horrible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just take better care of yourselves. Like, I wish I could go back and tell myself when I was a kid some of this crap. And I grew up in the 70s when we had real sugar in our stuff. In fact, I kind of like getting those old sugar Cokes, the real sugar ones you can buy from Mexico. I kind of like those. I'll have one of those every now and then. If I can get one of those, I'll have one. And they're fairly popular where I'm at, thankfully. In fact, Home Depot has whole cases of them you could buy. They're really cheap. But don't do that, because then you bring it home, and if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. Just buy them one at a time. Because I'm serious. I can't tell you how many times I get a sugar craving, and I'm just lazy, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna have to drive to 7-Eleven to get it. I'm not doing that. It's traffic, And I'll just have some berries and, I don't know, make myself another coffee. Coffee's been like the greatest thing for me. I know a lot of people hate it. I hated coffee before I gave up Mountain Dew. I thought it was the nastiest crap in the world. But then again, my palate, like you talked about, was so addicted to sugar. I needed to reset it. And now I love coffee, and I buy really nice coffee and espressos. So that helps.
Yeah. I mean, if you could eat sugar the way we used to eat sugar, it's so much healthier for you, right? Like stop buying Toll House Nestle cookies and all that.
What?
Make a cookie for yourself from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, I supported the Girl Scouts the other day, and I bought like 5 packs of cookies for $30. It was like a deal or something. And I always support the Scouts and any of these young kids that come out and are being little entrepreneurs that are trying to sell stuff. I remember how hard that was. I wrote about it in my book. I remember how hard that was as a kid selling Scout-A-Rama tickets. So I bought a whole bunch of 5 bags of those Girl Scout cookies. And then I took them over to my mom and took a few of the cookies themselves and left. So that's the old trick there. You can still support
left them to your mother.
Yeah, which is probably, that's like giving drugs from one drug dealer to another, because she loves sugar too. And I said, give them to people in the neighborhood, your church friends or something. But I mean, so you can't support the sugar industry, the Girl Scouts, namely, but you don't have to eat the cookies. So just give them the money.
You take them to the ER. You drop them off at the local
I used
ER.
to just give the Girl Scouts or the Scouts the money, and I'd be just like, I don't want the food, because if I take it home, I'll eat it. So here's just the money, and go ahead and make double the profit there, bud.
That's better.
I'm teaching you some really cool mathematics of entrepreneurism here.
That's a better plan. For Valentine's Day, Easter, all of it. Give money.
Yeah.
Better plan.
There you go. Instead of buying sugar, let other people get poisoned by sugar with the money you give them. I don't know. That sounds wrong. Anyway, so Doc, give us your .coms we go out, and final pitch out where people can find out more about you.
You can find me at fixednation.org. That's FIXED. Make sure you don't go to Fix. Chris went to fixnation.org, and he found a bunch of spay and neuter your animal type information.
Yeah.
So Fixed, FIXED, fixednation.org is where to find me.
There you go. And we also we expect a check from whoever that other company was now that we plugged their cat fixing service there.
I'm all for it. I'm with Bob Barker on that. Spay and neuter is wonderful, but it's not
There
where
you
to
go.
find me.
I grew up walking the dog with him. He's a wonderful man. He was a wonderful man. And maybe he still is in our memories. So there you go. Order up her book wherever fine books are sold. And folks, please, I'm a living embodiment and validation of what she has all talked about and written about here. It will change your life. It's kind of hard to get on the other side of this. A lot to learn, but your body will thank you. My body every day just goes, thank you for not being a jerk anymore. And then it still gives me a list of things to work on. It's like my wife. It gives me plenty of honeydews. Like, can you stop eating this thing? You know, every now and then I eat bad. Every now and then I go to McDonald's. So if you see me at McDonald's, don't take pictures and put them on the internet and call me out. Unless you see me every day, then please do that, because I have a problem if I do. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for Dr. Erin for being here. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss1 on the TikTok, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.
All right, Doc. Great show. We got out.